Hello everyone, this is Chanda Khan and today I'm going to give you a speech of homeschooling versus public school. First of all, let me introduce my audience to you guys and then I'm going to start my speech. Okay. Homeschooling has become more popular every day with a growth rate of 7 to 15% per year. There are about 2 million children currently learning at homes. Homeschool kids do well on standardized tests, are welcome to colleges and universities, and as adults have a reputation for being self-directed excuse me, self-directed learners and reliable employers. Almost 10 years ago, when I was making the decision to homeschool, I wrote up a list of pros and cons. The pros won me over, but since then I have discovered there were many more pros and cons that I could not possibly have anticipated. To help other parents who are considering homeschooling, here is a new list of pros and cons which I'm going to discuss. This list is based on both of my experience and the experiences of dozens of families who have shared with me the ups and downs of their day-to-day homeschooling. The pros: educational freedom. Most homeschool students have the choice to study and learn what they want, when they want, for as long as they want. This is not to say that all the basics aren't covered, but those basics may be covered at age 6 one child and the other age of 10, depending on ability, maturity, and interest levels. Physical freedom. After the initial shock of leaving the school system has passed, parents who homeschool say they experience a real sense of freedom with their lives no longer revolving around school hours, homework, and school calendar. These families plan off-season vacations, visit parks and museums during the weeks, and live their lives according to what works for them. Emotional freedom. Sadly, peer pressure, competition, boredom, and bullies are all part of a typical school days. This can be a particular problem for girls. According to studies, self-esteem plummets in middle school girls. However, similar studies of homeschool girls have shown that self-esteem remains intact and that these girls continue to thrive. Homeschool kids can dress and act and think the way they want without fear of ridicule or a need to fit in. They live in the real world where lives are undeducated by adults and friends and dangerous experiments. Religious freedom. Many families and spiritual beliefs are an important part of who they are. Homeschooling provides the opportunity for parents to incorporate their beliefs into their daily lives. Close school family relationships. Just about every family stressed the important role that homeschooling played in helping them find time to foster loving ties between all family members. Teens seems to benefit enormously from this interaction, and rebellious, destructive behavior often begins to diminish soon after homeschooling begins. Stability during difficult times. Whether there is a new baby born, an illness, a death in the family, or another obstacle or transition, homeschooling helps families cope challenging periods. Well-rested kids. As more and more studies as illustrating, sleep is vital to the emotional and physical well-being of kids, especially teens and preteens. The effects of early morning classes can be devastating to many children, especially those who are not morning people. No busy work. Homeschool children can accomplish in a few hours what takes a typical classroom a week or more than a week to cover. In a recent interview with John Taylor Gatto, he is a teacher in New York and he has 26 years teaching experience in his life. Veteran said that in more classrooms, less than an hour out of each school day is spent on task learning. No wonder these kids have so much homeworks, and that brings us to the major pro of homeschooling. Surprisingly, most homeschooling families believe that they believe loss of income is well worth the satisfaction of watching their kids grow and learn in freedom. Being with your kids 24 by 7. There is no denying it, for you choose to homeschool. You are going to be with your kids most of the time. If you doesn't enjoy being together, then homeschooling is not for you. While it can sometimes be difficult, most homeschool parents view their daily interactions with their kids, the ups as well as the downs, as opportunities for personal and family's growth. Now I'm going to discuss about the cons of homeschooling. Limited teen sports. While community sports activities fill the void for younger kids, teens often find limited opportunities to join sports teams, especially competitive ones. Depending on where you live, homeschoolings may or may not be welcome to participate on teams with their public school peers. Several parents did mention that a few families overcome this problem by creating their own teams. Living outside the norm. Like any activity that challenges mainstream thinking, homeschooling may be seen as an oddity at best, or even as a threat to those who are unable to accept ordinary parents succeeding where trained professionals often fail. My family has developed a bit of a tough exterior over the years, but negative comments and criticisms still filter and occasionally. If you are unable to live outside of the box, then some homeschooling is not for you. Now I'm going to discuss about the public schools. Public schools have varying degrees of educational powers and resources. A good step is to check and local and state statistics concerning the level of education in your area school. These can be found online or by contacting by district offices. Once you have a cursory knowledge of the school educational aims, you should consider the following pros and cons of the public schools. Cons of public schools: high student-teacher ratio, less independence, school choose curriculum, peers based on an area instead of choices. Pros of public schools, which I'm going to discuss about. Learning within a group setting, extracurricular opportunities, diverse social education, and one of the last pro of public schools is that although this list is by no means comprehensive, it doesn't provide an accurate overview of the pros and cons of homeschooling and public schools. Lifestyles, it doesn't go about the public schools, but I did say one of the best pros of the homeschoolings, which is Everlast. The last thing, what I'm saying, like whenever you need a hug in your bad situation, there is always a person who is with you. That's all, guys. This is my speech for my last assignment, which I take homeschooling versus public schools. And I hope you guys enjoy my speech and enjoy my video. I hope like everybody is enjoying good summer and everybody is enjoying in this class communication 103, and now everybody is hoping for good grades. You guys have a very good day, and thank you. Bye bye.